Continuation now, referring to you, offences and penalties, section 122 to section 138. There are so many sections are there. And applicability section is important again. There are cases where, especially if you refer section 75 subsection 13, section 75 subsection 13, I refer to you, general provision. If a penalty provision apply under section 74 capital A, any other penalty provisions including penalty under section 1 will not apply. You get my point, sir? Purudamma, I have understood. No, not understand. I will explain again. When we refer section 75 general provisions, that also I will refer here. Section 75 general provisions. Where we have section 75 subsection 13. Is there? Is there no? Yes, brother. It says where any penalty is imposed under 73, 74. Now old provisions. Now new provision is 74 from Finance Act 24, 25 onwards. No penalty for the same act or omission shall be imposed on the same person under any other provision of this act. Meaning what? 74 A, penalty apply. Penalty in other sections for the same act should not apply. What is a penalty? Generally, you are referring section 122, subsection 1 has 21 clauses, 21 offences. If you refer here, in the given case, there are 21 types of offences. What is that offences? Right from here, class 1, 2, class 21 offences. For which, what is the penalty? The penalty here is 100% of the tax evaded or rupees 10,000, whichever is higher. This as per section 1 of CGST, equal amount of SGST. Therefore, you have to refer 20,000 as the effective amount. Is clear, Baba? Now, this penalty, when will apply? The cases for which penalty applies is as follows. Is visible to all of you? Hopefully visible to all of you. Am I right? Here, invoice violations. Issue of invoice with missing, inflated information means defective invoice, or fabricated for non-existent supply. Meaning what? Issue of invoices without supply of goods and services, or issue the invoices for 2 lakh rupees, but worth of the goods 20 lakh rupees, like that. Or bogus billing, generate invoices for non-existent goods, services to facilitate fraudulent input tax credit, or tax collection issues, fails to collect the tax, or collect the tax, fails to remit to department. These offences, or offences TDS, TCS, required to collect but not collected, or collected but not remitted. ITS fraudulent cases, tax evasion cases, broadly I am telling you, because a rapid revision class, Raja, each and every class definitely will read in my regular class. But in crash course, difficult to read 21 classes, which I am bringing in a nutshell. Here, what are the ITC fraud? Address fraudulent ITC practices, including claims without actual goods services received, fraudulent refund claiming, violation of input tax credit, and distribution of ITC as ISD without having sufficient credit, or targets deliberate tax evasions through falsifying the information, producing the fake documents, providing false information or returns. Further, for this registration issues, fails to obtain mandatory registration or provide false information documents, obstruct the officer from his delivery of duties. Obstruct means what? See, I am motivating officer. Hey officer, you pass the order in original for 5 crores of tax demand. Thereafter, interest penalty equal to 5 crores. What you will get out of this? I will do for you. If you do favor to me, I will do for you. What you know? Independent Bangla is available in my name. Worth rupees 2 crores. I will transfer your beloved name. Don't take action. Revise the order. Ask your higher authority to revise the order and pass the order with nil amount. So I am motivating lawful means. Unlawful means disturbing the officer duties to deliver his due diligence. Is going to obstruct GST officer. Such a things if I commit offences which is liable for penalty under section 122 subsection 1 clause 1 to clause 21. Penalty is equal to here how much? 100% of the tax amount or 10,000, whichever is higher, is as per section 122(1). It may be lying from class 1 to class 21. Is clear as sir? Now, with one example, Baba, one case study. This case study examination, CA Final IDT paper question it is. Shagun Apparel's business. What happened? Shagun's apparel business in Vasai, Maharashtra exceeded 40 lakhs GST registration threshold limit on January 25th, but failed to apply by February 24 deadline. Why? What deadline? From the date of crossing the limit, within 30 days apply for registration. 25th of January crossed the limiter. That means how many days are left of January? 31 minus 25, 6 days. 6 days in January, February, 24 days. By 24th February, 30 days are over. You require to apply for registration, but not apply for registration. Offense, penalty. And I have to pay the tax also. What is the penalty? What is the tax during that period? 7 lakh rupees in taxable sales. 7 lakh rupees means on 7 lakh rupees, 18% GST. How much comes? Quickly, 1 lakh 26,000 rupees is the total GST. CGST plus SGST is the tax amount. Correct amount? That is 100% of tax. Or 10,000 CGST, 10,000 GST. Total how much? 20,000. Which is higher, Raja? 1 lakh is a penalty to pay. In addition to that, you have to pay the tax also. Is clear? This penalty is levied under section 122 subsection 1 class 11. Got the clarity? This is the examination question.
We have to mug up all the classes.
Mug not required, Raja. 20. Once you have to read regular class, if you come now, I would have read 21 classes you have to read once and understand it. First few classes I will tell you without referring to classes. 1. Issue of invoices without issue of goods or services, or issue of invoices not in accordance with the goods or services, or issue of goods or services not issuing the invoices, or availing the ITC without receiving the goods or services, tax collected but not paid for a period more than 3 months from the due date, tax collected which is not paid, or TDS collected but not paid, TDS liquid to but not collected, TCS required to collect but not collected. TCS is collected but not paid. TCS collected but paid lesser amount than the what collected. Like that runs. Falsifies the records, not appearing before the officer when asked for in person to appear. Summons are issued, not honoring the summons, not producing the records, not providing the books of accounts, even produce the books of accounts, bogus information producing, modified information producing, falsifying the information, altering the information. As a whole, not a good person. Offense. Is get my point? Then, further, I would like to bring here the true spirit of understanding the GST law. Circular of the CBS is there. This circular I am going to refer. I am referring here this particular circular. You will appreciate my presentation by linking these provisions and demonstrating with a live example as follows. This circular of the CBS. This particular circular I am going to refer now. Now, listen here. The same circular only. See, same circular only. Now, dear friend, I issue the fake invoice, Raja. Issue the fake invoice. Meaning what? Invoice issued without supply the goods. Now, I will put in a simplified manner like this. A issued the tax invoice, not supply the goods to B. B avail the ITC and utilize the ITC without receipt of the goods. If you without receipt of the goods, if you avail the ITC, is a clear-cut violation section 16 subsection 2 class B. You agree with me? Now, sir, he avails the ITC wrongly, rightly not utilize the ITC, but not hit section 16 subsection 2 class A. But wrongly avail no ITC. For wrongly availment of it is penalty under section 122. Subsection 1 clause 2, which says based on the fake invoices availing the ITC without receipt of the goods or services, thereby penalty. That penalty how much? 100% of the tax or rupees 10,000, whichever is higher as per CGST, equal amount SGST. Is clear? Now, there are two possibilities. A may avail and utilize, or only avail, not utilize. Two possibilities. Thereafter, B supply to C that invoice, tax invoice issued, where C avails and utilize ITC, or maybe C avails, not utilize ITC. A possibility. Now, this particular circular says, my dear, this circular says, this circular says, when the invoice issued without supply of the goods or services, not a supply. If not a supply, no GST. But violation, no? How dare you to supply the invoice without issue of a goods or services? Offense under 122. For which penalty? To whom? To Mr. A, who supplied that goods. What is the penalty here? No tax. Tax is 0 because not a supply. Or penalty under section 122 subsection 1 class 2 is given, where rupees 10,000 or 100% of tax, whichever is higher. Tax 0, but this rupees 10, which is higher as per CGST plus as per SGST. Totally that much is liable to pay. Only parent liable to pay. Is clear? Who made it A? Now goods where? To B. Goods are linked with whom? B. B says, I avail the input tax credit based on the such fake invoice and further availed and utilized. Oh, availed and utilized. Oh, very big fraud guy. B. Availed and utilized. Is a fraud only, na? How dare you take the credit without receiving the goods I taken? Wrongly taken. How dare you to utilize that credit? It's offense. Then wrongly availing ITC, section 122, subsection 1 will attract, and utilizing wrongly, which is revenue loss, department will send the notice under section 74, capital A, where you have utilized the ITC wrongly, means offense, fraudulently avail the ITC. It's a fraud case. If that is the case, we come across already section 75, capital A, two possibilities. Notice issued for the reasons other than the fraud. For which penalty? 10% of the tax or rupees 10,000, which was higher. 74A, issue the notice for the reasons of the fraud. Penalty 100% of the tax. No 10,000 rupees, 100% of the tax. Now, is a fraud case only, na? Hey, Mr. B, how dare you to utilize the ITC and fake invoice? Fake invoice only you have. Goods not received. How can you take the credit? I take and utilize it. Fraud guy. For you, what is the provision apply? 74A. When 74A is applied, notice, and penalty 122 1A apply, if the two things apply. Section 75, section 13 says, if a particular offense, for one offense, section 74A is applied, any other penalties for the same offense should not apply. Is it clear, bro? Now, what is the penalty under 74A? 100% of the tax. Is clear? That's it. Penalty under 122, section 1 does not apply. Is clear? I've got my point. Now, is clear? There may be a possibility. Sir, yaar sir ungal sonnade? Who said to you, sir? Evaru sir meeku chepparu? Aapko kon bole the? I have not availed the I have not utilized ITC. B says, I'm a good boy. See, I'm a good boy. I avail the ITC wrongly, I agree. On fake invoice. By God's grace, I have not utilized ITC. See my books of accounts. I have not utilized. That means now you taken the fake invoice, avail the ITC. Offense, section 122, subsection 1, clause 2. For which penalty? How much? 10,000. CGST, 10,000 GST. Whichever is that 20,000 rupees. Compared with the tax amount. Tax amount here is not offense. 0. 20,000 rupees will apply. Is clear? This Mr. B not utilize ITC. Therefore, 74 won't come because no revenue loss. But Mr. B issued that fake invoice to C without issuing the goods. That time B to C, not a supply. Correct? But he violated the provision. Which one? Issue of invoice without supply of goods. What penalty you come across for Mr. A? 10,000 is going to come here. So totally there are two offences in the hands of B. Those two offences quantifying section 122 subsection 1 clause 2. One offence. What is the offence? 122 is nothing but see here, issuing the invoice without actual supply of goods plus section 122 clause 7 availing ITC on fake document. Taking credit without actual use of goods, not utilizing, because he is not utilized. In that case, two penalties. Penalty 122 1 2 plus 122 1 7. Here how much? 20. Here how much? 20. Totally 40,000 penalty will come into picture on Mr. B if he is not utilized ITC. Get my point? Now coming to C, what the C did know? On fake invoice received, he availed the ITC and utilized the ITC. If utilized ITC, for wrongly availing, section 122, subsection 1, clause 2, penalty. Since utilize the same, 74A. If 74A will come, if comes into picture, already 121, 2 is there. Like that, multiple penalties are there. Section 75, subsection 13 says, if 74A penalty comes into picture, no other penalty should be levied for the same transaction. Resultantly, section 75, section 74, sub capital A. What is the penalty for wrongly availing ITC, fraudulent availing ITC? 100% of the tax amount is a penalty. If that comes into picture, 122 won't come. Says section 75, subsection 13. Got the clarity? Who will say like this? Tell me, my dear, comparing the sections with a numeric example. My online students, have you understood, all of you? This is a very important, Raja. One question come in the exam, going to come in the exam. If I am not wrong, question already printed in our coming exam of now September 25 from this area. Section 75A, read with 74A, read with 122, subsection 1, class 1 to class 21. Combination. Understand that. Just tell me, people are so smart, not this is what the drawback here is, neither speaking nor communicating. If they are my students, honest are there in front of the system or not, I do not know. That is lacking. But in the class, I will just take it into account. Anybody sleeping, I will focus the attention in such a manner that the person who feels drowsiness will wake up and listen. I won't disturb at all for your sleep, but you won't sleep. Yes, Raja? Correct, Amma? Yes? But online students, no, not possible. There's a control lacking. It's up to them. Then I cannot say anything. I am asking if they understand, very good. If not understand, if they say anybody, then I have the tools and techniques with me furthermore simplify to explain these points. This point, furthermore simplifying and explaining to you in this manner. Look here. The same issue, Raja, presenting for your kind consideration. You will understand. You will understand. Our efforts are like that we go in the class. Is clear? The same scenario. Look here. First transaction. Person A issue the fake invoice. For him, penalty. Penalty. Person A creates a fake invoice, 50 lakhs plus GST, 9 lakhs, where that 9 lakhs not liable to pay because he is not issued the goods, not services. Is clear? But offense the offense. Therefore, here Coming to what penalty for him? 122 subsection 1 class 2, correct? Is correct? Look here. Person A faces penalty. Penalty faces 20 rupees penalty under 121. Is clear? For this offense, hit it here. Now, person B, this is the fake invoice, avails ITC. Person B avails 9 lakhs ITC from the fake invoice where not received the goods or services. For that penalty, person B faces penalty. What penalty? Person B faces penalty under 74A, ITC utilized, or section 122, 1, 2, where ITC avails. ITC avails, not utilized. Is clear? And issue that invoice to somebody else. You get the point? ITC wrongly avails 122(1) class 7. Issue of invoice to C. B issue to C na. Therefore is an offense. Without issue of goods. 122(1), 2. Maximum how much? 40,000. If 174A comes, it disappears. Then come to this. Person B, ITC to person C. Person B passes ITC to C without supply, for which 122 subsection 1 class 2. Class 7 availing the ITC. See, here it is there. Then again, that's why I given the material to you, sir. Material when I given to you, I have not crushed. The material what I given soft copy is the same material what I am giving to my regular class students. If you refer that, here 122 subsection class 2. Is class 2 was class? Loudly read somebody please for me. Yes, I will mark it.
Issues an invoice or a bill of supply without supply of goods or services are both in violation of the provisions of the act or rules, means bogus bills.
Issue the invoice without supply of the goods services. Section 122 1 class 2. Is clear? Then class 7. Class 7. Read please.
Takes are utilized input tax credit without
Takes
actual
are utilized. There are two terminologies. Takes or utilize.
input tax credits without actual receipt of goods or services, either fully or partially in contravention of provision of the act or rules.
If you wrongly avails, penalty will come. Wrongly utilize, penalty will come. Under section 1 class 7. How much penalty? 100% of the tax or 10,000 CGST, whichever is higher. Equal amount of HST. Is clear? Now, having this, now you got clarity. Which clarity you got here? In the given case, 122.1.2 is issue of invoice without supply of goods penalty. 122.1.7 availing ITC and fake invoice. Is clear? If utilized now, 74A. Both are coming now, 75.13 says what? 74A only apply, the 122 is not apply. Is clear? Then coming to C. C avail the ITC and utilize ITC, 74A. For wrongly availing ITC, 122.1.2. Which one will come? 74? 74A only will come. This is what the penalty. C. And not 122.1.7. 122.1.7. Wrongly availing ITC is not taken. Wrongly availing ITC penalty won't come. Is clear? Lollipop presentation. Circle of the CBS. Got the clarity? So we focus the attention on section 122, subsection 1, class 1 to class 21. That class you have to read it or get comment on it. Now come back. Further, penalty Under section 121A in the PAR is the biggest drawback for a consultant. You being a chartered accountant, you guide to your client in such a manner that to cause the revenue loss, and you being a advisory getting the benefit out of it. By causing the revenue loss, a tax consultant who may be CA, CMA, CSA, or a GST practitioner, whatnot, X or Y or Z. If that fellow is a mastermind, he provocated taxpayer, "Day, nee kattamana, you are not required to pay. I will take care. You do like this. Issue the bill of supply." Actually, tax invoice should issue. Issue the bill of supply. And you tell the customer to collect the tax. Customer will pay the tax, but issue the bill of supply. Get my point? Because you supply to additional person, customer won't take any credit. So you collect the tax from the customer and don't pay to department. Say to department is the bill of supply. And the tax what you collected, you eat away. While eating away, give 50% to me. Like that, a mastermind behind to cause this offense. Such a mastermind is not a taxpayer. In spite of that, he is liable for the penalty. Section 122, subsection 1, capital A. Penalty for beneficiaries. How much penalty for doing that activities means 100% of the tax. What activity is bogus information, fake invoice, supply any goods or services without issue of any invoices, or an incorrect invoice or fake invoice are issuing, or issuing the invoice solely for passing the fraudulent ITC, availing the ITC and such fraudulent transactions, ITC taken and distributed as input and distributed to their sister unit, I mean to distinct persons without having ITC distributed. I have ITC distributed only 100 lakhs, but I distributed 1000 lakhs. From where you got that much credit? But I am really innocent as a taxpayer. My mastermind behind tax advisor, he only told me to do like this. Department catch hold. I told, see, my GST consultant only told me like this to do so. Proof is there. Proof, whenever I attack with GST consultant, I am recording the data. Recording call is there. Fully red-handed I given. Department will call him, "Hey, where are you?" "I am here, sir." "I am uninsured person, sir." That consultant says. In spite of that, our assessment of uninsured persons under that category, a penalty will impose on you equivalent amount of tax. Get the person. Recently, one case law also came to the notice of the judiciary. Judiciary said that a consultant, but not required to take the name because due respect, that consultant said, "I got a fees of rupees 50,000 or 1 lakh only, sir, for doing this. But the department established he is a mastermind to cause the culprit, to cause the loss. Around 25 lakhs something penalty, that much of tax involved. He's asked him to pay. And we went to appeal to High Court. High Court not accepted. No, you have to pay. Milord, I got only this much of it. So ignorance of law cannot be excused. When you are qualified CAs signing the reports, be careful. Do not simply, somebody asking your signature, autograph, do not put autograph wherever required. You sign it wherever required only after due verification. Otherwise, you have to face the penalties, and sometimes there's a provision, section 132 offense, where you are brought into the bars as an auditor. If he is involved in it, who is not a party to pay the tax, but the punishment, the imprisonment is there. Section 132, where I will refer to you. You be careful. More responsible person you are. Now please come back. 122, 1 is clear? 122(1)(b), a new provision it is. What is 122(1)(b)? You know, my dear, e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator required to file the GST 8 return monthly by 10th of the following month. You are aware of that? No. He is coming under 9(5) category, some cases, 9(3) category, or 9(5) category, or TCS, section 52 category. TCS will apply cases. Now, e-commerce operator I referred in one case, where no, a composition taxpayer who allowed to supply the goods through e-commerce operator platform, only intrastate supply, should not permit him to supply interstate. If he did so, offense. E-commerce operator உங்களுக்கு penalty உண்டு. How much penalty? 100% of the tax. Here penalty or 10 rupees are tax involved, 100% tax involved, whichever is higher. Whichever is higher, you see here, tax amount are 10,000, whichever is higher, equal amount of SGST. One more point, sir, an unregistered person can also supply the goods through e-commerce. Aware of that? For which unregistered person required to obtain unique identification number without submitting that unique identification number in the office of the e-commerce operator. If the e-commerce was permitted to supply the goods to his platform, offense. Sir, you are liable to TCS, man. Have you collected a? Collected, sir. Have remitted a? Not remitted, sir. Offense. You required to collect. Have collected a? Not collected. Offense. You get my point? For e-commerce operator, separate penalty is there. 10,000 rupees or rupees 100% of the tax, whichever is higher. To e-commerce is clear, Baba? It is section 122 1B. Is clear? Then 122 122 1A, 122 1B. These are series. If it is 122 1, what is the penalty? Tell me. 10,000 or 100% of the tax, whichever is higher. Now, if that is the case, section 74A penalty comes into picture. Section 74A penalty comes into picture. 74A only apply, not the 122 penalty. Is clear? In the case of fraud. Now, we have section 122 subsection 2. So far I referred 122 1, 122 1A, 122 1B. Now referring 122 2, which says that registered persons liable for penalties for tax evasion. For the tax evasion, liable to pay penalty. Tax not paid or short paid, failing to declare or remit the correct amount of tax, tax erroneously refunded, wrongly availing the input tax credit. In that case, penalty under section 122 subsection 2 for the reasons of the, other than the reasons of the fraud. If there is no fraud, 10% of tax or rupees 10,000, whichever is higher. Under section 122, if the penalty want to impose for non-payment of the tax for the reasons of the fraud, 100% of the tax or 10,000, which is higher. This is a penalty under section 122. Is clear? 122. If, what is this, sir? Sir, I'll tell you, man. I have supplied the goods one invoice I have not reported in the GST1 return. Or I reported all invoices. When I am going to pay the tax, I have not paid the tax. One or two invoices. Or fully amount not paid the tax. Why not paid? Because of shortage of funds. Is a fraud or non-fraud? Non-fraud. Because I disclose my liability. So that I am paying belatedly. Do not invite section 122(1) penalty. It is 122(2) where for reasons other than the fraud, penalty 10% of the tax or rupees 10,000, whichever is high, as per CGST equivalent of HGST. Suppose if I misappropriate the fund in such a manner that GST1 return I have been filed, passing the credit, but not supply the goods. Passing the credit, not supply the goods. Intention not supplied. Then what happened? 122(1) to apply. What is the penalty? 100% of tax or rupees 10, which is higher. That is copied there and pasted under 122. If you fraud, penalty as per 121. If a non-fraud, penalty as per 122. The severe penalty reduced for non-fraud cases. Is clear as further. Coming to section 122 subsection 3. Sometimes before I told no Raja to you people, section 122(1)(a) is what? Unmasterminded. That has been amended provision. Prior to that, from the day one of inception of the GST law, 122(3) is there. Is what no? Penalty up to rupees 25,000. On whom? On the any person. That any person may be mastermind, may not be mastermind. To evade the laws. Get my point, sir? When 122(a) apply, when 122(3) apply means, I will tell you. Sir, I am an employee of the organization. I am a key person. Limited company appointed me as authorized representative to deal with the GST department. I am a signatory. Department send the notice. Hey, mister, no summons issued. You come and appear before the department with the following documents. I failed to attend. 122 subsection 3 on me. Up to rupees 25,000. And department came to know that this fellow is a mastermind to cause the revenue loss also. Means what? 122(1)(a) also be. What is that? He issued the invoice without supply of goods or services and allowing the others avail the ITC, or he himself avail the ITC without receipt of the goods or services. That means 122(1)(a) also applies. Then on such employee who is not a party to pay GST, an person, not only 122 subsection 3 apply, but also 122(1)(a) apply. If not a fraud, violation of the provision, but I am a third person, 122(3) will apply, which is penalty how much? 25,000. If that same person also masterminded in addition to 122(3), 122(1)(a), which is equal to 100% of the tax, is the penalty also imposed. Therefore, not liable to pay tax, only penalty. Is clear, Ahmed? Huh? Both will apply. Cumulative penalties will apply. Got the point, sir? Example. Examination example. Yeah. This is also examination example. CA final example. I bold enough to write CA final because here Sagar, same name is in the examination question paper. Sagar, managing director of Tech Solutions Limited, failed to appear when summoned for an inquiry into suspected under declaration of taxable services and incorrect input tax credit scheme. Penalty on him 122 3D. One of the class says that up to rupees 25,000. Additional penalty 121A on such person if tax evasion or wrongful ITC which leads to 121A is also applied. Means beneficiary mastermind. You get my point. If it falls on 121A,
Is
hold the mic, na? That is that this signal.
Sir, suppose this MD of Tech Solutions is acting as a beneficiary and making fraud to the own company itself is making fraud, then 120 to 1B will apply, sir.
122
1B.
1
B.
1B is for e-commerce operator.
1A, sorry, sir.
1A is apply.
1A.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I apply.
For beneficiary.
1A into 1A apply. Will apply 1A plus
A plus 20.
122 3. Both will apply. This is what I'm trying to say.
Suppose if the fraud is very low, sir, not in a very big amount, that time, sir.
There is a clause called 126 minor breach where the tax evasion less than rupees 5,000. Why? Less than 5,000 no notice. Less than 5,000 no refund. There it comes.
That's it.
I will refer that point.
Okay.
Okay, na? Further, my dear, a new provision is mind-blowing altogether, my dear. There are certain manufacturers, pan masala, tobacco, cigarette, ITC companies there, no? Come. ITC companies manufacture cigarettes, BD, cigars, or pan masala companies. For them, this particular provision has been addressed. Hey, Mr. Pan Masala company manufacturer, how many machines you have to manufacture your product? Sir, 2 machines. These 2 machines, you must be registered under GST law. Machines should be registered. Separate procedure is there. If not registered, we will levy the penalty for each machine 1 lakh rupee. Per machine how much? 1 lakh rupee. And from the date of issue of the notice, if you not pay that 1 lakh rupee penalty within 3 days, we will seize your product. Machine will seize. We will liable for confiscation also. To release seizure, you have to pay penalty within 3 days from the date of imposition. Per machine how much? 1 lakh penalty. Per machine how much? 1 lakh. That should be paid within 3 days. Otherwise, liable for the seizure and confiscations. Heavy severe consequences. Sir, 2 machines are registered, sir. Very good. Sir, during the financial year, today I purchased 3 more machines. Additional machines purchased. Those additional machines should be registered. Non-registering of the additional machines require levy of penalty. You get my point, sir? A procedure is there, sir. That procedure I am not entering. I am referring only penalty clause. See, non-registration penalty is there. Registered procedure penalty, this is the procedure I cannot explain now. That's why the procedure is separate. For non-registering certain machineries, manufacturing tobacco products, cigarettes and all, pan masala and all, require for registration. Per machine how much? 1 lakh rupee penalty if not registered. If new machine added, that also registered. If not, 1 lakh penalty. If not paid that within 3 months, within 3 days from the date of imposition, you liable for seizure and confiscation. Is clear? Tell me, Amma. 122
Sir, if already
capital A.
if already one of my machine is confiscated, can I have ability to buy more, sir? More machinery? One of my machine is confiscated.
You buy the machineries, no problem.
There is no
That is not
problem.
a problem. But each machine you have to register.
And I that machine is confiscated, and I didn't pay the amount of 1 lakh rupees. Am I eligible to buy more machines, sir?
As long as machine you pay purchase, so long penalty will
So
come
long
into
penalty
picture
will
not
come.
registered. There is no blocking of buying the machinery.
Talking you.
Is clear? Further, my dear friends. Section 123 penalty. Failure to furnish information written. Yeah, excellent, it is there. Beautiful. Failure to furnish information written. See here what happened. Penalties apply for failing to furnish or furnishing a defective information written under section 150. If you refer section 150, which says that commissioner or any officer authorized by the commissioner is empowered to call for information from any person the following: from the taxpayer, from the collector of the particular place of district, from a ROC, from a banker, from a EB department, from a banker, from a sub-registrar office, and so on. List is there. And that officers who are relevant positions are there, they are responsible to submit information report as per 150. If the information what they submitted is a defective, insufficient, or not submitted, issue the notice, giving the time period of 90 days to furnish the correct information. Still they fail to do so, impose the penalty. How much penalty? Here, rupees 100 per day of delay continues as per the CGST after 90 days, or rupees 5,000, whichever is less. So maximum penalty under 123 is how much? 5,000 as per CGST. As per the SGST, 5,000. Total is how much? 10,000. The flow when apply. Look here. A revision. A revision, sir. Revision. See here. Gentleman asking the gentlewoman, what happens if I do not furnish an information written or furnish a defective one? Who is asking? A concerned officer, maybe bank manager. Asking department person. He is a bank manager. He is asking to department office. He is officer. He is a banker. Department as per 150, section 150, information not submitted or submitted defective. What happened? When he asked, department officer madam replies, you will be noticed or notified to rectify the mistake. You will be notified to rectify mistake within 30 days or an extended period of time. What happened if I still fails to furnish information written within that 30 days time period? I mean to say within the time period permitted, because here when the system says what? 150. Yay, you submit information report when called for. If not submitted, defective. Then reminding you within 30 days, you please give the information and give the correct information. What happened if I still fails to furnish information written? Department officer, you will be receive a notice requiring you to furnish it within 90 days to furnish. What happened if I still not do so, fail to do so? You may be liable to penalty under section 123. What is the penalty 100% per day of delay. For each day of failure continues after 90 days only. Upon a maximum of rupees 5,000, whichever is less. So maximum rupees 5,000 as CGST, as per GST 5,000. Is get my point, sir? You furnish, sir, when called for. Not submitted na, within 30 days, you please submit from the note. They will issue the intimation to submit. If not submit within 30 days, then notice will be issued to submit within 90 days. Even after 90 days, 30 days are over initially, 90 days are over, still not submitted, penalty will come. That is generally penalty will come after 90 days expiry. Or for the rate specified by the officer. Get my point, sir? Is 123 penalty. Coming to 124. Failure to furnish statistics. Sir, department officer can call for from any person. The use word here is any person. Any person may be CA. Any person may be CA. For example, sir, my name is Infra Limited. My data, my information and all in the office of the CA. You are my CA. I defaulted. Our department wants from my side statistical report for the what purpose generally they ask. You may be aware of that. Why to that extent? GST network portal. GST network portal. When the taxpayer paying the taxes department, GST department council want to know what is the amount previous month collection from goods. In the goods electronic sector, from the service particularly from works contract sector. They want to have comparison. This sector particular payment of GST is in an increasing trend or decreasing trend. Electronic sector increases, construction sector decreases because real estate decreases. So for getting the statistic for further deciding future dynamic way of preparing the planning, they may require. A taxpayer may be good or bad. The information lying with the auditor, taxpayer information. As per section 124, section 150 here, 151, department is empowered. Hey, Mr. Auditor, you have data of Infra Limited. You are the auditor for this. You have been certified the balance sheet. Yes, sir. All the information of the past 5 years of this fellow. Detailed manner required from you. You submit. CA audit form defaulted to submit. Then penalty under 124 will come. Now the modus operandi. First, commissioner or any officer authorized by commissioner request for statistical information. Failure to furnish takes place. Then a person providing knowingly false information. Then initiation of penalty under 124, a fine of rupees how much? 10,000 for the first day of delay. Further, each day of delay rupees 100. That means 10,000 plus something. The maximum amount should not go beyond rupees 25,000 as per the CGST. As per the GST, same amount should not be go beyond rupees 50,000. Is clear, my dear sir? Now please come back. 125. General penalty. A penalty is imposed under 125 for the transaction for which no specific penalty has been prescribed. Examples are there. Sir, I am a registered person, sir. What type of registered person? Composition taxpayer, sir. Hey, Mr. Composition taxpayer, in your nameplate, a composition taxpayer, not eligible to tax, GST should be mentioned in nameplate, in invoice. Sir, I'm a registered person, sir, regular scheme, sir. Your registration certificate should be promptly displayed in the office where you are running the business. I kept in the locker, sir, penalty. Under which provision? No specific provision. Will fall under section 125. You get my point, sir? What is the maximum penalty? Means up to rupees 25,000. As per the CGST, as per the existing, same amount. Got the clarity? Further, penalty under section 126. Your point, minor breach. Now, conversation between the taxpayer and the officer. He is a taxpayer. She may be department or GST consultant, knowing the law. Now, Mr. is asking, is section 126 penalty applicable if the tax is less than rupees 5,000 and easily rectifiable? Here, officer says, no, the section 126 penalty is not applicable. Why? The offense is less than rupees 5,000 or easily by seeing the record can rectify the mistake, which is not an offense. Therefore, penalty under 126 not applicable, said by the consultant. That means when the penalty will come under 126, the amount should be more than or equal to 5,000, or the offense what you committed is required to investigate and identify until it is not able to catch hold. Means what? Fraud gate. Get my point, sir? In such cases only 126 point will come. Then the taxpayer asking again, is the section 126 is applicable if the offense is not disclosed voluntarily? It means what? Listen to me, sir. Tax evasion 2 crore, which is investigate and detect. Such cases, I myself says, taxpayer says, higher department officer, I committed this particular offense. Henceforth, in my lifetime, I won't do. Trust me, I am promising you. I myself disclose the department saying that this offense took place well before department come for audit, well before department going to investigate it, well before department going to detect it. I myself told, I surrendered myself. Then in that case, consultant says that yes, the penalty under section 106 will be levied only when it is not disclosed by the taxpayer voluntarily. See, what is the point number? Asked point is what? The point was asked here, is section 106 penalty applicable if the offense is not disclosed voluntarily? If you not disclose voluntarily, yes. Penalty under 106 will be levied. How much penalty? Maximum penalty rupees 25,000. CGST 25,000 HST. These and all penalties will come into stand cumulatively, not the alternatives, not mutual exclusives. Section 75 subsection 13 refers 74A penalty if appear, penalty under 122 series won't apply. That means 74A or 122 mutually exclusives, but not penalty series are mutual exclusives. Penalty series will accumulate it. Is clear? Further, now you tell me a question in the examination asked. This example question here. Look here. Tarak Mehta underreported taxable supplies by 6,100, claiming it was a minor breach. Is it so? No, not a minor breach. Minor breach means the value should be less, tax amount should be less than 5,000, even not equal to 5,000. Then analysis, it is not a minor breach. Therefore, we levy the penalty. Penalty will be levied. Understands? How much penalty up to rupees? 25. As per CGST, as per HGST, 25. Totally 50,000. Up to that amount can be levied. Further, 127. Power to impose penalty. Power to impose penalty with the commissioner or the officer authorized by the commissioner. Further, 128. Waiver of penalty. Waiver of penalty. Now, waiver taken place here, amnesty scheme 128A. 128A. For the past period 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. That's all. For the 3 years, notice issued and order passed 73 means other than fraud, that person got a notice, tax, interest penalty for the first initial period 3 years. In that case, got confused, not paid. That now they can asking them to pay by 30th of November 2024, like that the time is given, amnesty scheme. And if he paid tax, waiver of interest, waiver of penalty. But only for the cases other than the fraud, that too 17, 18, 18, 19, 19 only, which is very long back. Amnesty scheme. Amnesty scheme is not going to appear in the exam. Very clear. So, I refer this only section 128. What it says, a waiver of penalty. Practically waived under 128A. Only for the reasons other than the fraud. That too initial 3 years from the day 1 of inception of the GST law. Is clear, my dear? Now, further referring here, 129, section 129. Hardly I will take a 10 or 15 minutes. By 1:30 I will give the lunch break. Don't get angry on me. Getting hungry, this fellow. For you, hungry means for me also hungry. Thereby we can say, before the lunch break, we complete the GST, rapid revision class fully completed, I can say. For that only I am taking this. Then customs damage, we can just dancing and understand the subject. Yeah. Loudly? ஏசி ரிமோட் எடுத்து வந்துடுமா? இங்கே இல்லை, எங்கிட்ட இல்லை, அங்கே இருக்கு. Going to refer to now section 129, penalty for the case of detention and seizure of the goods during transit. Important point, section 129 is only when goods in transit. If the goods are not in transit, 129 is not applicable. Please careful. There case laws are there. In my YouTube channel Rafi ID Guru, I have uploaded shorts, case law based shorts. During the movement of the goods, if the detention department detained the vehicle for the want of information, for the want of tax invoice or e-way bill, if these are not available, then can be seized the goods. To release the seized goods, which is seized during the transit, there is a penalty to release the seized goods. The penalty is equal to, if the taxable person comes forward, owner come forward, taxable goods on in case of seizure taken place, to release the seized taxable goods, penalty under 129 is 200% of the tax. Sir, it is a taxable good, sir, but owner does not come forward, sir. He escaped, sir. First of all, then who is the owner? Department will decide. Circular is there. Based on the invoice, debit note, credit note, documents, information, delivery challenge, concerner or consignee, anyone can declare as a owner of the goods by department. So owner not come forward to pay the tax, somebody else come forward to pay the tax, then the tax amount, the penalty is equal to under 129, 50% of the value of the goods or rupee or 200% of tax, whichever is higher. Very powerful provision it is. If the goods are basically exempt goods, owner come forward to pay the tax. In that case, 2% of the goods value are rupees 25,000, whichever is less. So maximum amount rupees 25,000. If the CGST portion, add equal amount of HGST portion. If the owner not come forward for the exempted goods, then section 109 says that instead of 2% on the value of the goods, 5% of value of the goods compared with rupees 25,000, whichever is less. You get my point, sir? If I bring the problem, able to answer it, sir? The problem I am going to bring here for your kind consideration. Look here. A 15 lakhs fashion apparel consignment GST 2 lakh 70 is detained for e-way bill non-compliance. The owner fails to come claim the goods or pay the penalty within 15 days. Time limit is there. I will refer the point procedure. As per 129, the penalty is 50% of the value of the goods. How much? 7,50,000 or 200% of the tax amount on this 200% is, whichever is higher. So here, how you got 15 lakhs, 50%. How you got 200%. Higher amount is 7,50,000 penalty. Is clear? If not paid within 15 days from date of seizure. There is any procedure? Yes, we have procedure. Procedure as follows. Procedure as follows. Procedure aspects for detention and release. Look here, step 1. Step 1 is what? Goods. Goods in is symbol, no? Transit symbol. Here, goods detention seized. When the goods are conveyance lack proper documentation, the officer can detain and seize them. Step 2, issue the notice within 7 days from date of detention seizure. Thereafter, pass the order within 7 days from date of notice. 7 plus 7 is 14. By 15 days you have to pay. The liable to pay, the person has 15 days from receiving the final order to pay the amount. 15 days time period is there na. 14 today means tomorrow you have to pay. Is the maximum amount. Further, disposal of non-payment. Non-payment of that amount, what happened? If the penalty remains unpaid after 15 days, the goods may be sold and recover the payment under 144A rule and can be disposed of that. You get my point? If you not pay the penalty within a time period permitted, what is going to happen? The goods are liable for sale. Sold, amount got. That amount, how should be dispersed? Refer here, rule number 144A. Recover the dues as per 144A and disbursement is as per this. Disbursement as per the particular provision. Look here, 154 rule, 144A rules act as about dispose and get the payment. 154 tax about a piecemeal distribution. The amount what collected should distribute. How? First priority, administrative cost, recover. Next priority, for example, amount realized 2 lakhs. Administration cost 20,000. Balance 1.8 lakhs. Penalty 1.8 lakhs. For example, penalty is rupees 80,000. Penalty is rupees 80,000. The balance 1 lakh. Recovery of other dues. If out of 1 lakh, other dues is rupees 25,000. Balance 75,000. Thereafter, balance distributed to the credit of the owner, return cash ledger to a registered person, if the registered person. If the person from whom the goods has been detained and sold, unregistered person, the bank account of the unregistered person within 30 days. If not able to credit to the bank account of the unregistered person, the amount will be sent to consumer welfare fund after 6 months of that particular amount realized. You get my point, sir? 5 steps to get it. With this, 129 over. Coming to section 130. What is that? Confiscation. Sir, exact difference between the what we can call confiscation and seizure. See here, seizure. Here, confiscation. Seizure, ownership with owner. Confiscation, ownership transfer to department. The only measure. But the confiscation, certain specified offences. Those specified offences I am referring here. Supplying or receiving the goods with intent to evade the tax, or not accounting the taxable goods such as undeclared stock, supplying the taxable goods without requiring registration, without required registration, deliberately contravening the provisions, suppressed sales, causing the evasion of tax, using any conveyance means goods vehicle or aircraft vessel to transport the goods in contravention of the act rules without valid EVL and all. In that case, conveyances are exempt from confiscation if the owner proves lack of knowledge or connivance and due diligence. What is this? No, not only goods are going to confiscate, vehicle also confiscate. Then you have to pay fine in lieu of confiscation as the owner of the goods, as owner of the vehicle. But vehicle owner not liable to pay fine under 130, section 130. When to know? Listen to me. If the owner says, the vehicle owner, Ayya, 5 days before, my goods carriage vehicle thefted somebody. On the same day, 5 days before, I launched the complaint, first information report, FIR I obtained. Today, you are telling me my vehicle and so and so place confiscated by department. That vehicle already thefted somebody. That means somebody thefted my vehicle and somebody carried that goods. Who are they? I do not know. I am innocent. Please release my vehicle. In that case, no fine under section 130 on such vehicle. That vehicle can be released to the owner. Understand? Otherwise, he also liable to pay penalty, fine. What is the fine? In fact, what is the fine? Under section 130. Listen. Listen to me. Fine. Conversation going on between the person, taxable person, officer. Officer says, person says first, what is the maximum fine for owner of the goods? Taxpayer asked. Officer replied, market value of the goods less chargeable tax thereon. Tax charge thereon. That defines the maximum value of fine. What is the minimum fine asked by the owner of the goods person? Department officer replied, 100% the tax payable on such goods is the minimum. Maximum, market value minus GST payable thereon is the maximum. What is the fine for the owner of the conveyance? If there is a fine equal to the tax payable on the goods being transported thereon. Further, person asked, what happened if the fine is not paid within 3 months? Oh, not paid. Dispose of such goods or conveyance and deposit the sale proceeds thereof with the government. Excess credit amount is available that will be given to you at a cash ledger or uninsured person bank account. Is clear? Now, nobody asked a doubt. Sir, section 129, when you refer here, you find, you said owner come forward, owner does not come forward. What is the fine on the truck owner? This truck belongs to somebody else, na? The owner of the truck, owner of vehicle, on whom how much penalty? That is also there. That is there with us. Section 109 penalty is there. Listen to me here. Penalty on the owner of the goods under section 129 is as follows. Conveyance shall be released on payment by the transporter, on payment by the transporter. Penalty under section 129 subsection 3 or 1 lakh rupee, whichever is less. Meaning what? Penalty what is leviable under 129(3) means what? Taxable goods. Owner come forward 200% of the tax. Owner not come forward 50% value of the goods or 200% of tax, whichever is higher. If exempt goods, owner come forward 2% value of the goods or rupees 20%, whichever is less. In the case of owner does not come forward, exempt goods 5% value of the goods or rupees 25%, whichever is less. That penalty one side. Keep 1 lakh one side. Whichever is whichever is lower is the penalty, whichever is less. On whom? On the owner of the truck. Is clear? Likewise, we have penalty, a fine in lieu of confiscation, on the owner. Maximum penalty under section 130, maximum fine under section 130 is market value minus tax payable thereon. Minimum 100% of tax. Coming to the owner of the truck whose vehicle is confiscated to release by charging the fine in lieu of confiscation. Owner of the vehicle who releasing the confiscated vehicle, how much penalty he has to pay? 100% of the tax. Is clear? As simple as this. Even if I bring the problem, easily can answer this. The problem here as follows. With this problem, what I will do, I will conclude. Because 1:30 lunch break, you have to go for lunch break. A problem will do, I will complete. So 1:30 is over. Thereafter, we are going to refer the 132, 135, 138. There are major sections. If I cover that, this syllabus will get over. After post lunch, I will take up, because section 130, compounding of offense. Section 132, offenses punishable with imprisonment. need to understand with some stamina. Therefore, by taking into account, I will take up after lunch break. Is clear? Now, for the time being, section 130, where one problem from our workbook. Yes. Question number 6. Yeah. Could you please read? Somebody please, Ramma? Please help me, my dear. Exam problem, CA final exam problem. I can say that CA final exam problem is yes.
From the details given below, determine the maximum amount of fine in lieu of confiscation leviable under Section 130 of CGST Act 2017. The goods liable for confiscation and the conveyance used for carriage of such goods. Details are as follows. The cost of goods for owner before GST 18 lakhs, market value of goods 24 lakhs, CGST on such goods is 4,32,000. You are required to explain the relevant legal provisions in brief.
Very simple. Here, legal position means what? On the for the confiscation of the goods, for him the maximum fine is market value how much? Minus tax payable how much? 4,32,000. So how much? 19 lakhs 68,000. This is the maximum. Is clear? Then minimum 100% of tax, that is 4,32,000. Is clear? Goods used for carriage, same amount. Here, what is the minimum? Is the amount for the particular 100% of the tax for the owner of vehicle. Is clear? Is one point. Thereafter, yes, cognizable offence. Thereafter, yeah, there are problems are there like this. You can able to understand. Yes. Then I too have the problem here. Itself seems to be in the material, section 130. Yeah, evasion of tax. Here is there. Maximum sufficient. You understand, no? Problem why I am doing means, if I do the problem, you in a position to understand the provision. What is the fine in lieu of confiscation on the owner of the goods? Maximum fine is equal to market price minus the tax payable thereon. Minimum is how much? 100% the tax thereon. Now on the vehicle owner whose vehicle is confiscated, to release that confiscation, fine in lieu of confiscation for the vehicle owner is 100% of the tax amount is the fine. Is clear? As simple as that. With this, I am concluding the class at this moment. Continuation after 45 minutes from now. So 2:15 exactly we start to cover the section 132, 135, 138. It's clear, my dear friends.